Why are people not being promoted? People who have completed 11 years of service are not being given promotion. What will happen? They will retire and just fade away. Why not give them the chance? If we have those posts, you don't have to create them. The next is the demand 67, which is port administration. We started with inland waterway at a time when Mr. Digambar Kamath was the chief minister, and Sudhin Daulikar was also the minister at that time. I remember very clearly, notings were put saying that a statement was made on the floor of the house that we will not allow central government to take over our rivers. When Manohar Parrikar became the chief minister in 2013, Sudhin Daulikar again refused to assent to handing over the rivers to the central government. Manohar Parrikar also refused. He put a note saying that throw them out. These are the wordings. I have got the copies of the notings. But in 2015, when the central government changed, suddenly when Parrikar became the chief minister, without even going back to the house, before or after, Parrikar puts a note that this is federalism and therefore we will give it to them. Now the danger, what has happened, our rivers have been handed over to the Inland Waterway Authority. Now please look at this. These were minor ports, and our poor ports minister will be sitting doing nothing but twiddling his fingers. Why I say this? Because any development of the minor port includes appurtenant land, which means land on the bank of the river. Everything will happen over there on the permissions granted by them, not by us. Coupled with that, in 2021, we had the major ports bill which has come in. And I'm confident you are knowing the definition of the port limits, which is in section 2.1. In relation to major port means the limits including any piers, jetties, landing places, wharves, quays, docks, and other work makes in the public for convenience of traffic, for safety of vessels, or for improved maintenance or good government growth, is approaches whether within or without high water mark and subject to any rights or private property therein. Any portion of the shore or bank within 50 yards of high water mark and the area of the major port as may be determined by the central government by way of notification from time to time. Then there's a master plan which is to be done by this port authority. Subject to rules made under this act, the board of each major port shall be entitled to create specific master plan for any development or infrastructure established or proposed to be established within the port limits and the land appurtenant to them. And such master plan shall be independent of any local or state government regulations of any authority whatsoever. Provided in case of any conflict between the master plan created by the board and any local authority, the master plan created by the board shall prevail. Yesterday or day before yesterday, we were hearing about the problems of the airport and the development, which is not possible because our town planning has no control over the airport authorities and the FOGA, which is giving the permissions. This is going to happen on the coast, and you take my word, you watch what I'm saying. Even shacks tomorrow, because of election it was not done, but tomorrow when the shack permissions have to be given, our government will have no control. It will go into the hands of the port authorities. If they say yes, then it will go, if it not. Same way, in the rivers, we have gone abroad, we have seen marinas in the river. If you and I want to make any development, they will say CRZ violation, they will say port not possible. If somebody else comes and lines their pockets, they will say this is good for infrastructure, they will say it's good for development, they will allow this. Trust me, what will happen. The major port authority, now which we call the Murmugaon Port Authority, will end up being nothing more than the British East India Company, which we had in those days, which actually ran the country before finally the British government took it over. So this is the next point I wanted to highlight, that these are the dangers which are potentially here. I would make a statement that these Goa's coast and river banks have been sold out. I think we must salvage the situation before it gets too late. Demand number 84, which is civil aviation. We talk of Mopa Airport, and I'm also very happy that it is commencing operations. But I'm only hoping that it's not another lavish opening with only one flight landing, and then the airport will be shut. There's demand number 25, which is relating to home guards. Home guards are performing virtually similar duties as police constables. In many cases, they even assist in the investigation of cases. It is but natural that they would expect their salaries to be brought on par with police constables and being given other incentives as extended to the police constables. I request that provisions in this regard be made for them also. In finance, demand number 32, in my constituency, we have two bridges. One is the Aldona-Korjueng Cable Stayed Bridge. It was once the marvel. It was when the International Film Festival took place, and there was a big celebration for its inauguration where the party was held over there. Today you go and see, it looks worse than, like ruins of the St. Augustine Tower, like it's going to collapse. It's very sad. The state is so bad, you may not even know where the railing is falling or the poles are falling into the river. It is rusting and the poles are bending, and so many letters have been written, nothing has been done. GSIDC, which is in control of this, should have a regular maintenance structure and a timetable, and this thing should be done fast. Kalvi-Karona Bridge also, which was built in 2012 after that sad and unfortunate bus incident where the bus went with 6 children in the river. Even this bridge is lying unattended. It has also begun to rust, because if you don't have timely repairs, it will definitely wither away. We have one major issue of the Aldona market. The Aldona market is standing tall, crumbling down piece by piece, and it won't be a day when the entire building collapses. People don't have an alternative. Everyone knows about it. I spoke to the Honorable Chief Minister's office. He also says he knows about it. I know there are some issues which plague that development because of title to the land, because land is belonging to 2 comunidades. It's the one peculiar village which has 2 comunidades. And both comunidades hold that land. Fabrica of the church also has land rights, and that was given to the panchayat. So now the panchayat has built up that market. So you have require NOC from the owners, you require NOC from the panchayat. Now there are traders also. The traders are willing to come out, wait out until this is reconstructed. They don't mind the building being demolished because you can't repair it, it's beyond repair. The Goa Engineering College experts have already certified the building as unsafe. Still people have not moved out. It's a very sad thing. I'm not saying they should be put out, but I don't want any mishap over there. And I think the government should take this on top priority. And I request the Chief Minister to mediate and arrive at a consensus and make the provision, because GSIDC had started the file but abandoned it, and it just remains at the initial proposal stage. There's one more thing which I got the reply in relation to an election question, unstart question which I had asked about election expenses. Election expenses this year has been in the range of 56 crores, 53 lakhs and odd. Hiring of vehicles was over 10 crores. This is ridiculous figures which we are seeing. I only ask one question. There are these people, I have also seen that how much money was spent on food. I've seen how much money has been spent on accommodation and other things. Why is it that all these officers come and have a merry time here? Do they think that Goa is a holiday destination to come with their families and they come and enjoy and go at expense of our state? We don't have money here. We are in deep debt. The state has to pay, and each of the citizen is burdened with so much debt. And this is very unfortunate that we are having such type of people. There is a provision in the RP Act for requisition of vehicles. The collector requisitions vehicles. You could requisition taxis. You could requisition these vehicles which lost during the time of COVID. We could have paid them instead of engaging these taxis which came from outside Goa. There were vehicles. Our people, they had no vehicles, no employment of our vehicles there. In addition, we are paying GST. A GST कितले कोटेन आस्तले लाखानी आस्तले आमचे GST फारी केले. If you had requisitioned this directly, there's no GST payable by the government. So you would have paid only the fee as per your table. Now what is this 10 crores? I don't know who has bought vehicles in between. So therefore I think a thorough inquiry has to be done in this, and I am sure the answer says it was tenders were invited through GTDC. So when it is invited through a corporation and supplied to even to the government or the collectorate, the GST component enters in, and therefore it's again a loss for the state government. So the state government could have avoided this, and we have to check which were the agencies which were given, who was selected, and who are those directors of the agencies who got the benefit out of it. So I thank the Honorable Speaker for having given me this opportunity to speak on these things, and I trust the government will definitely be in a position to address these issues in the budget. Thank you.
माननीय आमदार कुछ सिल्वा.
Speaker, sir, I stand to support the cut motion under Rule 260 and oppose the demand of grant moved today. I would like to speak on demand 17 police, demand 34 education, demand 32 finance, demand 84 aviation, demand 88 Department of Public-Private Partnership, demand number 67 port administration. Speaking on police, the citizens of Goa are concerned about the increasing murders, theft, and rape cases. Salsal Taluka has 5 police stations, mainly Margao, Maina, Kuchori, Kolwa, Kunkoli, and Patalda, covering 66 villages. According to the information available, out of 4 murders, Margao, Kunkoli, and Kolwa police station have registered 1 each, and the case has been detected. Whereas the case registered in Maina Kuchori police station has remained undetected this year. The massive influx of migrants have contributed to the number of cases related to crimes in Salsette, and it has become a concern for the resident population and the Salsette administration, especially the senior citizens who reside alone. Police claim that verification of tenants, maids, house help by sending their details to the police station. But what mechanism does the government have to detect those who keep migrants and do not go to inform details at the police station? I feel that the police should collaborate with the local bodies where they have a close details about the people living in their wards. People need to be strict, vigilant. Police need to be strict, vigilant, and hard work, as Goa is getting a tainted image due to this, and tourists feel unsafe, and that affects our economy. Police department has been provided the total outlay of rupees 980.01 crores, which is a rise of 41%, to undertake modernization of all departments under the administrative control of the Home Department. With such an increase of 41%, I'm sure that Goans will be protected and there will be a reduction in crimes. What is the type and kind of modernization to be taken up? Is it in the implementing stage or discussion stage? Can we take into consideration the modernization of Kunkoli police station and sub-police station Asolna in my constituency? Also, the traffic police must concentrate more on safety of the citizen than issuing penalties. So many accidents have taken place due to rough driving, and police not able to check drunken drivers, especially who drive roughly on the National Highway 66 connecting my Valley constituencies. Speaking on education, when you visit the Department of Education, Purvari, they have many retired, and the existing staff is burdened. The government need to see that people are not put to inconvenience, because if a clerk or personnel is absent, the others do not take up the task but call you the next time. People go all the way to get their queries, and if the dealing hand is absent, the head of that department should allot duties to some other person. I congratulate the present Director of Education for working hard to streamline the education system. And another very serious point is the toilets in the Department of Education are not getting running water, which is a very serious issue. Either a sump should be built and the water to be pumped as a store water in a large tank is very unhygienic, and many staff members are complaining of health issues. Speaker, sir, my party is very much concerned about the new education policy which your government will implement. Let no disturbance be caused to the minority schools who enjoy the fundamental rights under the Constitution to administer their own institution. It is through their hard work and sacrifice that the building with all facilities and the best are provided to the students. NEP calls a lot of digital learning, and many schools are still not able to upgrade it to this level, and government will have to ramp up this spending. Public-private partnerships should not put the burden of extra payment of fees from the pocket of parents. The Chief Minister also proposed to amend recruitment rules for teachers considering new policy and fill up all the posts of teachers accordingly. Again, I am reminding to consider the rules given to the minority institutions to administer their own educational institute, and we have many of them in Goa which is different from elsewhere. Government should also improve quality of teachers to impart education. The teacher-student ratio needs to be analyzed. The wired internet scheme for 16 remote schools to Director of Education, for which provision of rupees 1 crore has been made. Which are the remote schools and which is the criteria taken to choose those remote schools? Also, lab initially is in 350 schools. Vocational labs in 71 schools and 20 adult thinking labs will be undertaken. But we need to take the representative of the people's opinion when you identify the schools, as we too have schools in our constituency, which need upgradation, especially St. Xavier's School, Velni, which has vocational courses for the 10th. Chief Minister also stated in the budget speech that upgradation of computer lab in schools will be taken up in phased manner to cover all the schools in the state. Kindly consider 7 schools in my Velni constituency which need such facilities. I also request the Chief Minister to consider my school when the department upgrades school sports facilities in 350 schools. What will be the function of the State Research Foundation, for which the provision of rupees 6.5 crores has been earmarked? Will they produce new textbooks, or what research will they undertake? And what are the additional facilities you will give to the Goan students compared to others while framing the rules? Speaking on civil aviation, I have been constantly reading that Mopa Airport will be ready. I need an assurance from the government that Daboli Airport will be open and that my people from my constituency, who are mostly seafarers and working abroad, will have no additional burden on the costing and travelling aspect. This airport at Daboli need to be retained for the benefit of the South. Recruitment at Mopa must be given to the Goans. Talking on finance, the worsening financial situation of Goa with each passing day on account of mining ban. The survey shows that during the pandemic period, the tourism-related business came down almost nil. We need to focus on the revival of our financial institution by concentrating more on departments which earn revenue for the state. The Chief Minister Fellowship Program to involve dynamic youth in our public administration system in the area of health, education, renewable energy, of which 80 lakhs is proposed in the budget. What is the criteria to identify the dynamic youth, and will it be giving reference to the Goans? A large budget of 114.03 crores is allotted for skill development program under flagship program of Honorable Prime Minister to supply a skilled workforce to the industry. What is the detailed plan? Where are the new industries? The existing are employing all non-Goans, or is it to be given to the industries from our taxpayers' money, or enhance the skill of existing employees when they have to spend as their part of their budget? Speaking on private-public partnership, public-private partnership will be an attractive option in meeting the challenges. PPP involves long-term concession agreement defining partnership roles and responsibilities, including sharing of risk between public and private sector. However, no additional burden in the form of tax increase or burden on people it is to be considered, as privatization leads to profit orientation and capitalism, which is unsustainable in a socialist economy. The 3 projects that are taken for this will be spelled out, that is Sanjivani Karkani to produce ethanol, development of Marmagoa Planning and Development Authority, and the Maritime School at Britona. How will this project benefit Goans? What is the investment of the Goa government and the returns? Speaking on port administration, so port administration, the captain of port office department tinga staff bara staff but tanche kam kita kota ta makata satisfied lagna kita considering this reversal the डिसिल्टिंग प्रोजेक्ट चलता. आतां काल हाजो म्हजो क्वेश्चन आहलो, स्टार क्वेश्चन आहलो, हांवें डिटेल मागलेली आनी ते डिटेल्स दिले जाल्यार म्हाका दिसना तेमी सारके दिल्यात म्हणून. सो थिंगा दोन फेजस जालो डिसिल्टिंगाच्यो. हांवें ते द इंटेंट ऑफ डिसिल्टिंग हांवें क्वेश्चन मागलो, इंटेंट ऑफ डिसिल्टिंग ऑफ रिवर साल विथ द नंबर ऑफ फेजीस. तेमी दिलो म्हाका दोन फेजस जाला. एक फेजीचो कंप्लीट जालो, सेकंड फेज जाल्लो तेजी पार्ट पेमेंट केला म्हणून. हांवें तेंय मागलेलें तेम कडेन द इनिशियल बेटरमेंट रिडिंग्स तेमचे आहा जाता आमी म्हणल्यार तेंच्या लायन आहा. सेकंड बिफोर डिसिल्टिंग आनी आफ्टर डिसिल्टिंग. सेकंडली हांवें तेंका मागलेलें दी क्वॉन्टिटी ऑफ सिल्ट दॅट इज रिमूव्ड फ्रॉम द रिवर साल डिसिल्टिंग केल्ले एज आन्सर म्हाका दिलो ना. कितली क्वॉन्टिटी काडल्या ती. आनीक एक मागलो तेजें इन्स्पेक्शन केल्लें लोकल आसा तेणें म्हणल्यार लोकल्सां कोणाय घेतला म्हणून. सो थिंगा पळयलें जाल्यार त्या एज पर द तेंगे रिकॉर्डाचे तेमी दोन टेंडर घाल्ले. एक टेंडर ऑलमोस्ट 8,46,36,750. सेकंड टेंडर जाला 10 crores. सो जेन्ना तेजो स्कोप ऑफ वर्क हांवें मागलो तेमी दिला लेंथ will be 6 kilometers, width will be 12 meters, depth will be 3 meters. तेजे चोवपाक गेलो जाल्यार हे कॅल्क्युलेशनान तेमी टेंडर घाला. हांवें ITIचे इन्फॉर्मेशन केलें त्या टेंडराक तेमी 700 rate दवरला पर क्युबीक. सो हे काडली जाल्यार एक फेजीक जाता 2,16,000 क्युबीक क्वॉन्टिटी जाता. सो तांचो टेंडर एमावंट जातालो 15 crores 12,000. पूण तेणें लो कोट करून 8 crores 36,750 घेतला. सो ती क्वॉन्टिटी प्लस दोनूय टेंडर कंपेर केलो जाल्यार आमचे ऑलमोस्ट तेंची 4 lakhs क्वॉन्टिटी जावपाक जाय. आतां 18 टेंडर कोर्सांचो टेंडर ऑलमोस्ट दोनूय फेज कंप्लीट केलो जाल्यार समज कॉन्ट्रॅक्टराक एक 50% पासून तुमी कमिशन प्रॉफीट जालें तितूंतल्यान एटलिस्ट 9 crores काम जावपाक जाय आसलें. 9 crores काम जालें जाल्यार एज अ रेट ऑफ 700 पर क्युबीक एटलिस्ट थिंगा 1,28,000 क्युबीक थिंगा सिल्ट मेळपाक जाय आसलें. तेरूय आसतना 1 lakh पासून सिल्ट मेळ्ळें जाल्यार एक 10 क्युबीक एक ट्रक दवरलो जाल्यार थिंगा 1,000 थिंगा 10,000 थिंगा ट्रक जावपाक जाय. थिंगा सिल्ट कांयच मेळना. आनी तेमी दिला ते सिल्ट खंय उडयलां म्हणल्यार तेमी दिलां लोकल्सान मागलां आनी लोकल्सान ते बँकाचे रिवराचेर दवरलां म्हणून. सो आतां टेंडर घालता आसतना तेमचें काम आहलें तें व्हरून भायर उडोवपाचें. पूण इतले 1 lakh क्वॉन्टिटी थिंगा क्युबीक क्वॉन्टिटी मेळना थिंगा. सो थिंग काम कांयच जालें ना. आनीक म्हज्या लागीं फोटूय आहाय. म्हज्या लागीं फोटो म्हज्यान दिवपाक जाता कितकोन डिसिल्टिंग जालें. पॅच वर्क जाला, थोडें डिसिल्टिंग केलां. सो जेन्ना आमी इतले पयशे म्हणटा तें काम कित्याक जायना. सो म्हाका दिसता हिंगा एक हे फायंड आवट करपाक जाय मिनिस्टर ऑफ पोर्ट्स हें कितें जालां तें. तेजे भाशेन ताणें म्हाका दिलो एक स्कोप ऑफ वर्क थिंगा कित्याक काम करता तें फर्स्ट फ्री मुवमेंट ऑफ वेसल्स म्हूण. जेन्ना लास्ट टायम फुडलो गव्हर्मेंट आहलो तेन्ना लोकल फिशरमॅन आमचो MLA आहलो प्लस कॅप्टन ऑफ पोर्ट आहलो, मिनिस्टर ऑफ पोर्ट्स आहलो. आमी सगळ्यांनी मिटींग घेतली कित्याक थिंगा डिसिल्टिंग बंद करपाक. पूण मिटींग जावन सगळें डिसिजन घालून आमकां एक एश्युरन्स दिल्लें थिंगा फकत लोकल फिशरमॅनाक यूज करतले म्हणून. पूण आतां फ्री मुवमेंट ऑफ वेसल म्हणजे कितें. आतां वेसल फिशरमॅन यूज करता ते व्हड्याक तेकाय वेसल म्हणटाय, ट्रॉलर्साकूय वेसल म्हणटा, बाज येता तेकाय वेसल म्हणटात. आतां हेजो स्कोप कित्याक की ट्रेडिशनल फिशरमॅनाक उरतली काय थिंगा कोलाच्यो बाजी येतल्यो आयज लोकांक भिरांता. हें क्लॅरिफिकेशन आमकां जाय पडलें. हें वेसल्स म्हणटा कितें तें. कित्याक आतां आमच्या MLAन कालूसान सांगलां सगळें डिटेल आमचे पोर्ट लिमीट लागला तें. कित्याक आयज लोकांक थिंगा भिरांत आहा. सो हांव मागतां ही आमचे डावट आमच्या मातशें क्लॅरिफाय करचें म्हणून. थँक्यू.
माननीय सदस्य चंद्रकांत शेट्टी.
Speaker sir, I stand to support today's demand raised by Honorable CM and to oppose the cut motion moved by opposition. पहिलेच फावट विधानसभेचे कारकीर्द सुरू करताना हांव म्हज्या गुरूंक वंदन करता. आज गुरुपौर्णिमा. सगळ्या गुरूंक हांव नमन करतना म्हणटा, गुरुर ब्रह्मा, गुरु विष्णू, गुरुदेव महेश्वरा. स्पीकर सर, डिमांड नंबर 11 आणि 12 हाचेर एक्सायज आनी कमर्शियल टॅक्स ही आमची रेवन्यू जनरेटिंग डिपार्टमेंट आसा. ह्या डिपार्टमेंटाचो लोकांक फ्रेंडली आसच्या पेक्षा भंयूच चड दिसता. केन्नाय जर ह्या डिपार्टमेंटान लायसनाक जर वयशीत 15 दिसांनी म्हयन्यान जायना. म्हजे कडेन हल्लीच एक केस आसा, 1.5 वर्स लायसन घेवंक लागता. आतां एक लिकर शॉप जर ताका जर 1.5 वर्स लायसन घेवपाक लागता आनी आमी म्हणटा भुरग्यांक आमच्या प्रमोट करपाक जाय, धंदे करपाक जाय, कसो करतलो? तेणी खंयचो तरी जॉब सोडलेलो आसता आनी तो लायसन एप्लाय करता आनी तो 1.5 वर्सां जर घरान बसलो जे आसा ते सोंपोवन बसतलो. सो हांव सरकाराक सांगता, हातूंत तांच्यांनी मातशें लक्ष घालून कशें सडसडीत जातलें, कशें इजी जातलें, ऑफिसान म्हणटा तें कशें जाय, आमच्या प्रायवेट धंद्यान येयल्यार कशें म्हणटा आमी, आमच्या जर कावंटरार येयलो तुका कितें सर्वीस जाय, हें करूंक तें करूंक आमी दिता. दॅट इज द वे द सिस्टम हॅज टू बी डिवेलप. तरच आमच्या भुरग्यांक दिसतलें येस आमी धंदो करुया, आमी आमच्या गोंयांत रावया, गोंया भायर वचया नाका. डिमांड नंबर 17, पुलीस डिपार्टमेंट हे तशें इम्पॉर्टंट डिपार्टमेंट. आतां मेन रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ह्या डिपार्टमेंटाची लॉ अँड ऑर्डर आसा. सद्या तरी आमचें पुलीस डिपार्टमेंट खूब बरें काम करता. आय रियली एप्रिशिएट दॅट. पण तरी तांकां आजून तांच्या बिहेवियरान आनी डिसिप्लिनान इम्प्रूव करपाक जाय. स्पेशली जो तांचो टोन आसता. खुबश्या पुलिसांक कितें पुलीस डिपार्टमेंटान गेलो काय टोन न्ही, मनशाक पळोवन टोन आसता. दॅट शूड नॉट बी दॅट. कदाचित तो आमच्या कडेन लेजिस्लेचरा कडेन बरो आसतले, केन्ना केन्ना तो लेजिस्लेचरा कडेन टोन बरो नासता तांचो. सो तो तांच्यांनी इम्प्रूव करपाचो गरज आसा. आमच्या बिचोलेन आउटपोस्ट आसा गोवा दोडामार्ग बॉर्डरीचे आनी हे आउटपोस्टान फक्त पुलीस डिपार्टमेंट ना, थिंगा एक्सायज डिपार्टमेंटूय आसा. आनी ते जर तांचे कंडिशन पळयशी जाल्यार खरेंच पॅथॅटीक. कित्याक ते बाबडे 24 आवर ड्युटी करता. धड तांचो टॉयलेट पळयशी जाल्यार ताची दारां ना. धड तांकां जर मातसो रेस्ट घेतलो जाल्यार दारां ना. आय नो दे आर कमींग फॉर ड्युटीज. सो आनी खुबशीं वर्सां दुर्लक्ष जाल्लें आसा. म्हाका दिसता हें खुबशे ते पयलींचे कितें तरी एक जुनें घर आसा जें गव्हर्मेंटान घेतलेलें आसा. जागा खूब आसा गव्हर्मेंटाची, 35,000 स्क्वेअर मिटर जागा आसा. आनी हें आमचें सारकें दोडामार्गासून गोंया एंट्रीकूच. आतां एंट्रीकूय आमच्या गोंयचें दिसतना आमी म्हणटा ट्युरिजम स्टेट म्हणटा, जाल्यार कशेंसो तरी दिसता. सो इट रिक्वायर्स अर्जंट रिपेर न्ही, ते सगळें परत कंस्ट्रक्ट करपाचें. हांव सरकारा कडेन मागता आनी तातूंत लक्ष घालपाचो. आमचें पुलीस डिपार्टमेंट जे बिचोले आसा ताका अपग्रेड करपाची गरज आसा. ताचो जो स्टाफ आसा तोय तितलो हे फूल कॅपॅसिटीचो ना, तोय तांच्यांनी स्टाफ हे करपाक जाय. पुलीस डिपार्टमेंटाचेर उलयतना हांव एक हे करता, एनेक्शर करता की तांच्या डिपार्टमेंटान 3 वेकंट पोस्ट आसले. सायंटिफीक असिस्टंट कम फोटोग्राफर आनी सायंटिफीक असिस्टंट ब्रॅकेट DNA. म्हाका हाचेर मातशी मुख्यमंत्र्या कडल्यान क्लॅरिटी जाय की हांकां कितें क्वॉलिफिकेशन जाय आनी ह्या क्वॉलिफिकेशनाच्या आमच्या गोंयांत कॉलेजी आसा काय ना ते. एनेक्शर 1. डिमांड नंबर 25, होमगार्ड आनी सिव्हील डिफेन्स. आमचे जे होमगार्ड आसा हे भुरगे सर्वसामान्य कुटुंबांतले आसा आनी कितलींशींच वर्सां भुरगे हे डेली वेजीसाचेर आसा. हांव गव्हर्मेंटाक रिक्वेस्ट करता की तांकां कशें तरी एब्जॉर्ब करचें. दॅट डजंट मीन हांव तांकां म्हणटा कशें एब्जॉर्ब कर, लेट दॅम आन्सर देअर प्रॉपर एग्जाम नाल्यार कितें आसा. पण तांकां अशें डेली वेजीस दिवन तांचें कितें जाता न्ही, ते 45 वर्सां जालीं, 50 वर्सां जालीं, तांच्या बाबड्यांचें लायफ केन्नाच सेटल नासता. केन्ना म्हणून तांकां बाबडे अशें बरें बाबा पिसफुली चल आपणाक एक शुअर शॉर्ट जॉब आसा अशें तांकां केन्नाच दिसना. आनी तांकां जशें ते बाबडे व्हडले जाता, तांचीं भुरगीं व्हडलीं जाता, तांकां बाकीचे लायबिलिटी येता. कितलीं वर्सां म्हणून ते हे अशें करतले. सो तांचें मातशें लक्ष घालून पळोवपाचें. स्पीकर सर, डिमांड नंबर 27, ऑफिशियल लँग्वेज हे इतर खात्याच्या तुलनेन सामकें ल्हान खातें, पूण भाशा ही प्रत्येक मनशाच्या स्वाभिमानाची गजाल आसा. आमच्या गोंयांत कोंकणी आनी मराठी हे दोनूय भाशे भगिनी आसा. कोंकणीक राजभाशेचो मान कायद्यान दिलो आनी मराठीक कोंकणी वांगडा सगळे सवलती मेळच्यो अशें सांगलें. कोंकणीचो प्रशासनान मोठ्या प्रमाणात वापर जावचो, पूण हे करता आसतना मराठीक बरोबरीचें स्थान दिवचें अशें मागता. ह्या गोंयांत अनेक आक्रमणां जालीं, पूण आयज मेरेन हांगा मराठी तिगोवन उरली हाची नोंद सरकारान घेवची. मराठीचे कार्यक्रम सरकारी पातळीचेर जावचे अशें हांव मागतां. आमचे बाकीचे डिपार्टमेंटान वेदर इट इज इन हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट, आमचे PWD डिपार्टमेंट, जो डॉक्टर जॉईन जाता किंवा इंजिनियर जॉईन जाता, ही रेज टू अ पोस्ट ऑफ डायरेक्टर. पण जे ह्या भाषाच्या डिपार्टमेंटान तो जो कोणी कर्मचारी जॉईन जाता तो फक्त असिस्टंट डायरेक्टर पर्यंतच पावता, फुडें पावना. तो जो डायरेक्टर असता तो सिव्हिल सर्व्हिस ग्रेडीतलो असता. सो हांव रिक्वेस्ट करता बाकीच्या डिपार्टमेंटाच्यान हांगा एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन आनी लँग्वेज डेव्हलपमेंट अशी दोन हे आसपाची, ज्यामुळे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशनाचो डायरेक्टर आसा तो सिव्हिल ग्रेडांतलो येवचो आनी लँग्वेज डेव्हलपमेंटाचो डायरेक्टर आसा तो भाशा डिपार्टमेंटांतल्यान येवचे. नाजाल्यार तो कितें जाता असिस्टंट, प्रत्येकाक प्रमोशनाची गरज आसा न्ही. हांव स्पीकर सर, हांव डिमांड नंबर 26 उलयतां. फायर आनी इमर्जन्सी सर्वीस हे डिपार्टमेंट आसा ते खूब बरें आसा, खूब इम्पॉर्टंट आसा. आमचे खुबशे कलीग हेचेर उलयले आसा, खुबशे कलिगांनी तांकां कॉंग्रेच्युलेटय केल्ले आसात. लास्ट इयरच जेन्ना हे वादळ येयल्ले तेन्ना ह्या डिपार्टमेंटान आमच्या बिचोलेन इतलें बरें काम केल्लें. म्हाका दिसता बाकी तालुक्यान खूब लेट लायट बी येयल्ली, पण आमच्या बिचोलेन खूब बेगीन लायट येयल्ली. 2 दिसांनीच रिस्टोर जाले. फायर डिपार्टमेंट अंडर द लिडरशीप ऑफ डायरेक्टर रायकर आनी आमचो बिचोलचो माजीक आशिल्लो तांणी ब्युटिफूल काम केल्लें. इनफॅक्ट तेन्ना हांव तांकां लास्ट इयर 22 जुलयाक हांव तांकां कॉंग्रेच्युलेट सुद्दां केल्लें वचोन पर्सनली. सो ह्या डिपार्टमेंटाक आमच्या थंयसर बिचोलेन सद्याचे तेजे डिपार्टमेंटाची बिल्डींग आसा ती अंडर कन्स्ट्रक्शन आसा आनी लास्ट 3 वर्सां ती अंडर GSIDC ती बिल्डींग आसा, तो कॉन्ट्रॅक्टर पळोवन गेल्लो आसा आनी ती तशीच पडलेली आसा. आतां क्वेश्चन म्हजो एक आसा, जेन्ना आमी गव्हर्मेंट ह्या बिल्डिंगेचेर पयशे खर्च करता आनी तो कॉन्ट्रॅक्टर पळोवन गेलो म्हणून कितें करपाचें, आमी हात वयर करपाचे. आज आमचे गव्हर्मेंटाचे कितले तरीच कोटी पयशे ते पडोन रावल्ले आसा. आमच्या गव्हर्मेंटाची केन्ना बजेट वाडटली, जेन्ना आमचो एसेट आसा तो आमी मॉनिटायज करतले. अशें जर आमचे प्रोजेक्ट अर्देवट पडले जाल्यार आमी अशे लॉसानूच वतले, आमच्या कडेन फंड्सूच नासतलो. सो गव्हर्मेंटाक हांव रिक्वेस्ट करता की बेगींतल्या बेगीन टेंडर ऑलरेडी गव्हर्मेंटान फ्लड केल्ले आसा, आय नो दॅट, पण बेगींतल्या बेगीन कॉन्ट्रॅक्टर हे करून ती बिल्डींग सुरू करून आमचे ते डिपार्टमेंट थिंसर ट्रान्सफर करपाचे. आमी आमचे आसा तेच, म्हजो एकूच रिक्वेस्ट आसा, अर्दवट आमी फंड घालून खंयचोच प्रोजेक्ट दवरुपाचो न्ही. दिस इज नॉट गूड फॉर एनी बिझनेस पर्पज. वी हॅव टू लूक इन दॅट बिझनेस मॉडल. आय नो देर आर सम प्रॉब्लेम्स, लिगल प्रॉब्लेम्स आसतले, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव्ह प्रॉब्लेम, बट केन्ना ना केन्ना तरी आमकां तेचेर सोल्युशन काडचेंच पडटलें. स्पीकर सर, डिमांड नंबर 34 उलयता. आतां एज्युकेशन हे सगळ्यान म्हणटात ते व्हडलें, पुराय गोंया खातीर एकदम जिवाळ्याचो विशय. विद्यार्थी, पालक, शिक्षक, प्रशासन हे खात्याचे मुख्य घटक. भाऊसाहेब बांदोडकरान गोंय स्वतंत्र जाती गांवांनी सरकारी मराठी शाळा काडली. आयज थोड्या शाळांची अवस्था सामकी बिकट आसा. खुबशे मराठी शाळा बंद पडत चल्ल्या. सरकारान ह्यो प्राथमीक शाळा सांबाळून दवरपाची गरज आसा. हांव सरकारा कडेन मागता की ह्या मराठी शाळांक उत्तेजन दिवपा खातीर उपाय येवजण करची. गोंयांत मराठी भाशा टिकली जाल्यारच आमची संस्कृती टिकतली, हे सरकारान लक्षांत दवरचें. इंग्लीश ही जगाची भाशा आसा, ती आमकां जाय हेच्या विशयी दुमत ना, पूण भुरग्यांक प्राथमीक शिक्षण मातृभाशेंतल्यानच जावचो हो जागतीक सिद्धांत आसा. म्हणून आमची मातृभाशा आवय भास तिगोवन दवरपा खातीर प्राथमीक शिक्षण हे मातृभाशेन दिवपा खातीर चालना दिशी अशें हांव सरकारा कडेन मागतां. आमची आयज, हांव 40 वर्सां पयलीं ह्या जेन्ना शाळेंनी वतालो, म्हाका क्लियर रिमेंबर आसा, हांव जेन्ना प्रायमरी शाळेन आमचे मेणकुर्जे शिकला, द शाळा वॉज इन एक्सलंट कंडिशन. हल्लीच हांव आमचे साळ पुनर्वसन गांवांत एक शाळा आसा, त्या पॅरंट्सांची PTAची कंप्लेंट आसली, आमच्या शाळेचो प्रॉब्लेम आसा. हांव म्हटलें हांव येता. हांव पर्सनली आमच्या कन्सर्न PWDच्या AEक घेवन थिंगा विजीट केली. आयकल, जेन्ना हांव विजीट केली, जेन्ना एंट्रन्साक गेलो तेन्ना म्हाका बरे टायल्स बी दिसले. सो हांव म्हटलें अरे शाळा बरी आसा, कितें प्रॉब्लेम आसा. शॉकिंगली जेन्ना हांव शाळेन भितर क्लासान गेलो, आजून त्या शाळेक बसपाक टायल्स ना, प्लास्टीक घातलेली आसा. सो हांव इंजिनियराक विचारलें, शाळा वचात थंय गळटा, त्या शाळेची पॅनलां गेल्लीं आसा, म्हाज्या कडेन फोटो आसा प्रूव करपाक, सगळे फोटो आसात प्रूव करपाक. हांव इंजिनियराक विचारलें, अरे बाबा भायर चकचकीत आसा आनी भितर अशें कशें. ना सर, ते इलेक्शना खातीर. सो आतांच कोणी तरी आमच्या एका कलिगान म्हटलेलें, हे आतां शाळा नाल्यार इलेक्शना पुरती जातले. दुसरी गोश्ट, सो जेन्ना म्हटलें PTA लास्ट 2 वर्सां PTA कंप्लेंट करता, ADIक बरयता. एडीआय म्हणटा आपूण लेटर बरयला PWDक बरयला म्हणटा. PWD जेन्ना लेटर बरयला असिस्टंट इंजिनियर सायटीर वता विजीट करता तो प्लान सबमीट करता सगळी लिकेज जाता आनी अजूनय ती स्टेट आसा लिकेज जाता आपूण तो सगळो प्लान बी काडून वयर एक्झिक्युटीव इंजिनियराक धाडटा. एक्झिक्युटीव इंजिनियर ऑफिसान बसून आनी त्यांनी ऑफिसान बसपाचेच. आय डोंट हॅव एनीथिंग अगेन्स्ट एनीबडी प्लीज सगळ्यांनी लक्षात दवरपाचें. तो थिसर एडीएन एकूच घातलेलें तेचें कितें तर आपले स्कूल लिकेज जाता. सो तांणी कितें केलां ही इज रायट एक्झिक्युटीव इंजिनियर लिकेज जाता जाल्यार तेणी नोट घातलो फक्त लिकेज तितकीच इम्प्रूव करपाची. पण सायटीर विजीट कोण केलो असिस्टंट इंजिनियर विजीट केलो. ताका फक्त लिकेजेस खूब प्रॉब्लेम आसा. सो त्यामुळे जो असिस्टंट इंजिनियरान जो एस्टिमेट केल्लो 45 लॅक्साचो काय कितें तो त्यांनी कमी करून फक्त 9 लाखाचेर हाडलो. म्हजो क्वेश्चन सरकाराक इतलेच आसा आता प्रॉब्लेम कोणाचो वेर इज द मिसकम्युनिकेशन इज इट द प्रॉब्लेम वॉज विथ द असिस्टंट इंजिनियर शूड हॅव कन्वेड टू द एक्झिक्युटीव इंजिनियर बाबा हे अशें न्ही. कदाचित एडीआय she comes from the education background, so tini properly must have not put on the paper. So AE must have convinced the executive engineer, baba फक्त हांगा उदक घेना हांगा बाकीचे पॅनल गेला हारसो गेला फ्लोरिंग ना हे कन्विन्स करपाक जाय. ना जाल्यार तरी येवन पळोवंक जाय आशिल्लें आपणाक व्हेरीफाय करपाक जाय आसलें. ना जाल्यार AE शुड उलोवपाक जाय आसलें एडीआय कडेन आनी हे बाबा जे तूं बरयला तें अशें बरय हे प्रॉब्लेम आसा. अल्टिमेटली जालें कितें स्कुलाक एकूय रुपया मेळोंक ना. परत अंदूच्या वर्सा तीच लिकेज. आय हॅव टू अर्जंटली इंटरवीन आय हॅव टू स्पीक पर्सनली उलोवचें पडलें. अल्टिमेटली सीएमा कडेन उलोवन प्लास्टीक कवर ते शाळेक घालचे पडले. आनी हे एकेच शाळेचो प्रॉब्लेम ना मुळगांव बागवाड्याच्यो शाळा आसा केन्नाय छप्पर पडटले आनी एक दीस व्हडले मिडियान येतलें की हे छप्पर शाळेंतल्या भुरग्यांचेर पडलेले आसा. हांव कितें म्हणटा कन्सर्न ऑफिसर प्रत्येक तालुक्यान आसा तो कितें करता तो कित्याक पळयना हे एडीआय आसा ते कित्याक पळयना. प्रत्येक फावटी लोकप्रतिनिधीन हे गोष्टी कित्याक सांगपाक जाय आसता. आमची बिचोलची शाळा आसा 350 भुरगीं शाळेन जी आतां जी नवीन शाळा बांदता आनी ते शाळेचे रूफ येयल्ल्या वर्सा गळटा. लास्ट इयरय तांच्यांनी पयशे थोडे म्हणून प्लास्टीक कवर घातले. अंदू तांच्यांनी लेटर बरयले आनी ते बी कोण पळयता PTA बरयता. जाल्यार तो कन्सर्न ऑफिसर सांगता तुमी लेट लेटर बरयलात. कित्याक तुका सांगपाक जाय व्हाय द हेल देर इज अ नीड टू से दीस. हांव कितें म्हणटा ऑफिसराक कळना कित्याक. अशे जर गोष्टी लोकप्रतिनिधी पळोवपाक जाय जाल्यार डेव्हलपमेंटाचेर फोकस कशें करतले. बाबा आपले कॉन्स्टिट्युन्सीर प्रोजेक्ट खंयचो नवो येवचो रेव्हेन्यू जनरेटींग प्रोजेक्ट खंयचो येतलो आमचे आनी कितें सुदारतले म्हणजे आमी कितें सगळे जाण भोंवन 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 त्याच पॉयंटार येता. अशें जावपाक जायना. सरकारान हेचेर खूब लक्ष घालपाची गरज आसा. एज्युकेशना कडेन तर डेफिनेटली ना. दुसरी बालरथ स्कीम आसा ताचेर कांयच ना म्हटल्यार 422 बशी दिल्ले आसा. म्हज्या कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सीन एक सावरदाड म्हणून आसा धंगरवाडी म्हणून आसा थंय 25 भुरगीं आसात आनी ह्या भुरग्यांक ती आज बस नासली फॉगेट बालरथ आमकां हांगा कदंबाय बसूय मेळना ताचोय प्रॉब्लेम जाला आनी त्या खातीर त्या भुरग्यांक शाळेन येवपाक खूब त्रास जाता. हांव सीएम सरा कडेन रिक्वेस्ट करता की आमकां एक तरी बालरथ बस आमच्या प्रायमरी मेणकुरच्या शाळेक दिवपाची त्यामुळे आमची भुरगीं जी आसा ती शाळेन वतली. स्पीकर सर हांव डिमांड नंबर 83 चेर उलयता. मायन डिपार्टमेंट. मायन डिपार्टमेंट इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ दीस स्टेट. इट इज अ रेव्हेन्यू जनरेटिंग डिपार्टमेंट. दुसऱ्या शब्दात सांगल्या जाल्यार खनिज व्यवसाय आमच्या गोंयच्या जनतेचो आत्म जावन आसा. म्हजो डिचोली मतदारसंघ हो पूर्णपणे खाण व्यवसायावर अवलंबून आसा. 30% चड लोक ह्या खाणा व्यवसायाचेर आसात. खाणीचेर काम करपी ट्रक चलोवपी पंक्चरवाले स्पेअर पार्टवाले टायरवाले गॅरेज कार हॉटेल कार पायलट दुकानदार बँको अशे कितलेशेच